Hey PMC fans, what is up? I am Noah JTRA, or the Rockin, joined by Lucky, who is coach of the Dallas Manectrics. Welcome to the interview.
Hello.
Alrighty guys, and first off, welcome to Season 2 of the league.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Alrighty, so let's begin the way we begin every interview. How did you find the PMC?
How did I find it? I can't remember if it was J-Specs or Phantom Base. One of them approached me about the league. I'm pretty sure it was Phantom Base, Tyler. And he told me about it, and at the time I think I was only in one league, so I was like, yeah, I'm down for another one. And it was a great group of guys, and I was really glad to be a part of it.
Alrighty, and what are your thoughts on the league?
It's very well run. Everything goes smoothly. There were a few minor hiccups here and there for Season 1 that I'm sure are being hammered out, but all in all, I like it quite a bit. It's a great league.
Definitely, really excited to be part of this league. And what are your thoughts on the league format?
The league format is something that I'm pretty passionate about myself. I started my own league that is slowly but surely coming through. We're kind of still working on it here and there. And I've been a part of the GBA family since the end of Season 3, so I'm really a big fan of it, and what the PMC is doing is really good.
Alrighty, so you mentioned you were part of another league, so before this, correct?
Yes.
Alright, do you care to elaborate on that?
Sure. So I've been in about 2 leagues, and I got the playoffs in both of those. In the PMC, I got to the championship for Season 1, and in the league that I just started, we're about a third of the way through the first season, maybe a little bit less. Maybe a little bit more. And my friend Chase, Crimson Seabad, is doing the Crimson City Battle League, and I'm helping out over there and coaching my team there as well.
Alrighty, so you definitely have some experience with leagues, so you definitely have a lot of battles under your belt. What do you feel is your greatest strength when it comes to battling in a league format?
Team building.
Team building?
It's definitely team building. It's definitely not actually battling, because I'm the first person to admit that I make mistakes in the battle. I let win cons go down too early. I forget that I've done certain things to prep, but team building, I always build to the best of my abilities, and it's definitely one of the things that I'm the most confident in.
Alrighty, so team building being your greatest strength. What about your weakness? What do you think is your greatest weakness, or just a weakness in league format?
It would probably be the battling itself. I draft pretty well. I am always prepared for any potential sniping or anything like that, so I always have plenty of, backup plans and stuff like that. But in the heat of the moment during the battle, as I was saying before, I do occasionally mess up. I do choke just like everybody else does. So that would probably be my weakest point overall.
Alrighty, you mentioned drafting. So the draft, we don't have a schedule yet, we don't have it dated, but it's definitely going to be soon, so it's coming up. Do you have a plan going into the draft, like any Pokemon you really want to use, or a strategy you want to utilize?
Yes and no. So one of the things that I've actually done is I talk a lot to a couple of my friends like Joey Pokeaim and Dan, or A-Drive, and how they kind of view it, and they both obviously have very good grasps on the league format. So what I kind of did is I made myself a list of all the different things that I want on my team of 11 or 12 Pokemon, and I just want to check off as many of those as I possibly can within those 11 or 12 slots.
Alrighty. And if you don't get all 11 and 12, do you have backups for the mons you don't get?
Oh yeah, I always have backups for my backups for my backups. I always make quite the list. I don't usually go into a draft with specific Pokemon planned. I usually go into it with a plan like I want this type of Pokemon first, and then this type of Pokemon. And try and minimize type overlaps and stuff like that, just to give my team as much diversity as possible.
Alrighty. And so while we're talking about Pokemon, let's talk about a Pokemon. What Pokemon, in your opinion, in League format, this League format in particular, do you feel is the most overrated Pokemon?
Overrated?
Yes.
That's a really interesting question. I think that there are a lot of really good Pokemon in this format. I think that there are certain Pokemon that are probably not as good as they're cracked up to be. I think that that's a really hard question to answer, because the whole thing about the League format is that you want to be able to exploit your opponent's weaknesses to the best of your abilities. And I feel like there are some Pokemon that's made a little bit easier than not. I would have to go with something like, and I actually use this Pokemon myself. The Mega Charizards, just because their weakness to Stealth Rock is staggering. Or a Pokemon like Talonflame or Volcarona, something that just takes such huge damage from entry hazards, I feel is, when you know what your opponent has, it's easy to plan for it. And if you can plan for it, you can bring some stuff that just shuts it down.
Yeah. So when you said Charizards, Mega, are you referring to both Charizard X and Y?
Yes, because when you switch them in the first time, they're in their regular form. They haven't Mega Evolved yet, so they do take that 50% from the Stealth Rocks. Mega Charizard X mitigates this a little bit better than Mega Charizard Y, because it does gain Dragon typing and loses Flying typing when it Mega Evolves. So it does only take 25% after it has Mega Evolved, but that's still the initial 50% that really wears down your Pokemon.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Charizard X can even use something such as Flare Blitz, so whatever HP it does have is very precious to maximize its usage.
Yeah, I am known to bring Fire Punch rather than Flare Blitz, even though the damage output is a lot lower. For longevity purposes, it makes a huge difference.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I definitely see Fire Punch allowing that. And, you talked about a lot of good overrated Pokemon in general, so good job coming up with all that. A lot of people struggled to come up with, it is a hard question. But let's look at the opposite side of the spectrum. What Pokemon do you feel is the most underrated?
Easy. Infernape.
Infernape.
I am terrified of Infernape. I have it in my league, the OBC. There's only a few Pokemon that exist that can really just wall Infernape, and those are really the Lottie twins. Those are the big two that can really wall it, and Latios doesn't even do that good of a job because it takes a huge amount from U-turn. Latios is really the only Pokemon that just completely shuts it down, outspeeds it, and can take it out very easily with a stab Psyshock or Psychic. Because with its coverage, its access to setup moves, and its speed, which it has base 108 speed. It outspeeds all those 105s and stuff like that. It just is so dangerous, and it's so hard to prep for because of how many different ways you can run it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Infernape. I'm trying to think. I know it's 108 speed. Do you know its attack and special attack stats?
Its attack and special attack are both 104, and both of its defensive stats are 70-something. I can't remember exactly what it is. They are 71 and 71 in defense and special defense, and 76 HP. It's not a very bulky Pokemon.
No, but that 108 speed, 104 attack and special attack.
Exactly. It's a perfect example of a very good mixed attacker.
Oh,
Pokemon
yeah.
like a Zelf that also excel at that with, having base 125 attack and special attack with 115 speed. It's really hard to safely switch into an Zelf.
Oh, complete. Yeah, it's great, especially because it has access to Nasty Plot. It can set up real quickly. And with Infernape, I'm just curious, do you fear the Life Orb set more or the Pokesash set more?
Definitely Life Orb.
Life Orb because of the damage output?
The damage output is really high, and it enables you to put that extra bit of coverage by mixing your moveset, so you have both physical and special attacks.
And it has access to stab close combat, stab overheat, stab flare blitz, so it can hit really hard.
It's also one of the very few Pokemon in the game that have access to Vacuum Wave, the only special priority move in the game.
Ooh. Alrighty. So next up, we talked about Pokemon you think are overrated and underrated in Infernape, as well as Azelf, I believe you mentioned, which can be very, very offensive and threatening mons. So you do have league experience, and because of that, do you have any expectations for yourself going into this new season?
Yes and no. As I mentioned earlier, I did make it to the championship in Season 1, which frankly was a bit of a surprise to me. I knew I was going to make it to playoffs about 3/4 of the way through the season. And my first playoff match was against the league founder, Commissioner J-Specs, who I had not battled yet. He had a very threatening team. I managed to pull off a bulk-up Hitmontop sweep, and the following week I was going up against another person that I had a lot of back and forth with. I went up against Verdugo, and the Tampa Bay Frogadiers. We were 1-1 against each other.
Ooh.
So there was absolutely no guarantee what was going to happen. And I was able to pull out the victory for that match as well. I don't remember exactly how I did that one because it wasn't as epic as the Hitmontop sweep. But it was quite the battle indeed. And then, of course, I did fall short in the championship. So I would like to think that I'll be able to make it to playoffs again. However, I know that the competition is even more stacked this season.
Oh, definitely. All right, so I believe you already answered this question earlier, but just again, I believe you mentioned A-Drive earlier, and that has actually been someone that's been commonly named. But do you have any inspiration when it comes to battling or team building? Anybody you look up to?
I would have to say yes and no. Because I really think that I take a pretty unique standpoint when it comes to building for the league format. And battling, I don't really copy anyone because everyone battles the way that they choose to battle. However, in terms of, general advice and stuff like that, I talked to Shady Penguin, I talked to A-Drive, I talked to PokeAim, I talked to MV, I talked to a lot of people, and everyone has different opinions on everything because it's such a personalized thing. You have 12 Pokemon against 12 Pokemon, or 11 Pokemon against 11 Pokemon, so you become extremely familiar with the Pokemon that you have. And then you also become extremely familiar with the Pokemon your opponent has because you need to know every possible thing that they can do because the league format breeds such creativity when it comes to the sets that you bring.
Yeah, completely, because you got both teams have to prepare for each other, and that definitely even adds to the excitement and intensity of the matches.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, so I would like to thank you for your time on this interview. I just have one last question before we close off. Who will be our PMC Season 2 champion?
I want to say me because I got there last season and then choked, so I'm going to say me, but honestly I have no idea. I know we have a lot of crazy, powerful coaches this season, a lot of really stiff competition, but here's hoping I'll be able to pull out the W this season.
Oh yeah, well, the W's, yes. I talked to Johan, we kept talking about W's. So Good luck this season, and I hope you get that big W, man. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty, and for those of you viewers at home, thank you for tuning in and watching these interviews. We're getting to know the coaches before we actually begin the season and the draft and all that. Looking forward to seeing your teams and your play style, man. Going to be exciting matches this season.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming. And again, guys, I am Noah JTRA, or the Rockin, joined with LuckyLadTv. Guys, thank you again for coming on and watching. And again, huge thank you to Lucky for coming on board. And that is it, guys. Have a blessed day, blessed week, and hope to see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys. Bye.